Okay, welcome. We are going to talk about black and white today and several different ways to approach that. So we're in Lightroom. I'm going to set my black, my white points, a little bit more shadow, a little more emphasis in there. Bring the highlights down a little bit. Whoa, that's a little much. Via W for white balance and click someplace where it's neutral. That looks much better. I am going to, in this video, show you how to set the tone curve in Photoshop, just as another option. You know, if you set it in here, you have the targeted adjustment tool where you can click and drag it over the image to set your contrast points. And I'm going to go down here into, there we go, a little bit of lens corrections. Now, in Lightroom, you can, up at the top, you'll see in the basic panel, black and white. And you can click to make it black and white. Now, when you do this, you'll notice you don't really get a lot of options up here. So let's go down to HSL color and black and white. And here is where you can play with the different values and the different luminosity, right? So look at the chairs. If I drag the orange, green, the blue, right? And you might say, well, I'm not sure which one of those sliders to use for what part. Look what we have, the targeted adjustment tool. So if I know I want this area to be a little brighter, it will select the slider for me. If I know I want this area to bring down that luminosity, it will select that area for me. So you don't necessarily have to know which slider. You can use this targeted adjustment tool. And I find that that is the best way to start to work with black and white. Now, one of the challenges of black and white is that because it is just luminosity values and not color, things that say are red and green may look exactly the same, right? So in here, we are definitely losing contrast. We will use the tonal curve for right now in Lightroom. And I'm going to grab the targeted adjustment brush. I'm going to drag it up in here so we have a little more definition and drag it down. And you'll see I made a little S curve, which I can kind of move around a little bit if I want to. Whoa. If you get something crazy like that, you could just drag that off. Oh, if it doesn't drag off, you can always go to linear and reset it. So I know I want a little more contrast. Okay. And then I can bring that targeted adjustment tool in to make sure that it's not getting too dark. All right, so this is looking pretty good, but we don't want it to look just pretty good. We want our black and whites to sing. We want each of the parts of the black and white image to have the best brightness and the best contrast, right? So in Lightroom, we're a little bit limited by that. So this is one way to approach black and white, and I would say start here. But in the next video, I'm going to show you a much more advanced way that we will be working with for Project 4.